Good morning and welcome back to the daily vlogs. We have returned. This is the beginning of the week. Hopefully we can get a lot of progress made this week, as the intention is throughout this week is to get the pipe work finished in the room, start laying the floorboards and investigate how bad moving the loft hatch is going to be. But for today we're going to focus on the waste work because my mum's coming over today and she's bringing me a post whacker thumper thingy to basically prop this tree. I was gonna leave this for like off camera, but as we are returning to daily and I can't like combine days really, it's just part of my day. So at some point today we're gonna get the post in the ground, bury the rest of the roots and hopefully tie it off, and fingers crossed that is enough for the tree. But that's not till later. As I said, today we are focusing on getting the waste pipes in. It definitely feels like ages since I have worked on this room, but I am excited to get the waste pipe done. I've got 3 to do. I need to finish off the sink here. I also need to move the soil stack, so I'm going to lower the soil stack slightly down, put the soil pipe in and get that all in place for the toilet. And speaking of the soil stack, this is what's known as a boss fitting. So the soil pipe's going to go in there for the toilet, but here, quite handily, there is a cutout where I need to basically drill a hole through there and put the waste for the bath in. Once we have got the waste pipes in for both the bath, the toilet, as well as the sink, we should, at that point, be ready to start putting floorboards down, as I need to move that loft hatch. I'm all ready to start laying these floorboards on the floor, as well as wood prepared for studding. But as I say, the only thing that stands in my way is that hatch, because the hatch is directly above where the toilet's gonna go, the stud work's gonna go, all of those things. And it's obviously a bathroom, so I kind of want this room as sealed as possible. So the plan with the loft hatch is to move it from here in a straight line to the other room. So it will likely end up around here. But as I say, that's for much later on in the week. I can see how we get on first. I have no idea how moving that hatch is gonna go. I feel like it's fairly simple, but it kind of depends on how the joists are laid out, because if the joists are at like 400 centers, like they are here, then I'm gonna have to do some woodwork to support the beams and so on and so forth. So yeah, quite a bit of work to do when it comes to moving that loft hatch. As well as the fact that I don't even know how the wasp nest is doing in the attic. It's been a fair while now since the guy came out and removed it, or at least killed it. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to sticking my head up there. All right, as I mentioned, let's focus on the waste pipes. So let's start with the sink. To do the sink, I think I need to rejig my pipe work up here, which I, to be fair, did temporarily so I could plumb this in. Now, obviously, I have got everything fed down to here, so I obviously know it all works. But what I think would be a good idea is to remove all the water pipes, get the waste pipe in place exactly where I want it, and then relay my water pipes around it, because the water pipes are way more forgiving than the waste pipes. So let's get that disconnected first. Then I have moved the T from what was here across to here. So now my hot and cold run here, and I can run my waste pipe exactly where I want it. All I need to do now is cut a little bit of waste pipe, put some elbows on it, and we're golden. I really could do with getting like a job site like table or something, like a workbench down here, because yeah, cutting things on the floor using my boot, probably going to lead to a lot of miscuts. Yep, that is much better. Hopefully, this now fits. Unfortunately, it is not. It's a little too short by like, I don't know, 5 centimeters. However, with a few tiny adjustments, we have now got the waste pipe all in. It isn't going to stay like this permanently, but there is a nice fall that takes it to there. I just need to create like a little platform or a ledge for it so it's got the right fall on it. And then it comes straight up in the middle between my 2 taps for where the waste is going to go on the sink. Nice. All I need to do now is just fix up this pipe work in this room. All clipped up, I'm ready to go. I'm actually so glad my mum came around and gave me some advice and put the bend here rather than up there. Doesn't really need to be pretty because it's all being boxed in anyway and you'll never see it. The hot and cold water, by the way, I know it looks a bit all over the place up there. Eventually, you know, if I do move this sink, which I intend to actually put it here next to the toilet, and a shower here, the water pipes actually run straight down, so it's actually better being routed to this side of the waste pipe anyway, because it's going to come here in the future. Don't know. We'll see. I have no idea how the shower in this room is going to go, if we even bother putting one in, because I'm sure we'll probably just get used to going upstairs and use the bathroom there anyway. But right, we have finished down here. Now we need to do the waste pipe for both the toilet and the bath. So I need to remove this boss fitting, as it's much easier to use a hole saw and drill a hole in that when it's on like a flat surface than it is when it's mounted into place. The goal is to try and keep this as central as humanly possible. So we're going to go fairly gentle with it. And just like that, we have a hole. God, that stinks. God, that actually smells awful. With the hole, you get these little adapters that basically push into here, like so. And that's all snug in there. And then I can take some 40mm pipe and then put the 40mm pipe into there. And there we go. Boss adapted. What I actually forgot to show was me sanding it a little bit because I don't want any rough edges. When you do any kind of cut to plastic, try and like deburr it as best you can. Some sandpaper just works fine on this, or as James likes to use, a file. You can use a file as well. But all this pipe cleaned off. We're good with our boss fitting and our adapter in there. I don't think I have to solvent weld this or anything because it's like rubber. So it should just seal itself as it is. You can get 32mm ones, but as this is serving a bath and not a sink, I'm pretty sure, I need to double check, but I'm 99% positive that it's 40mm for a bath because of how much water is coming out of the bath versus a sink where it is 32mm. So yeah, this should do the trick. All fitted. Now the waste for the bath is actually going to end up probably around here, so I am going to have to do some magic with this pipe work, but I don't know exactly right now where the bath will lie and where the waste will end up, so going to do this bit connecting these two later on when I have the bath in. Because it's above the floor, it doesn't matter too much, but at least I know that that's adapted and ready to go. Now we just need to get a pipe that goes from here across to here where the toilet is. I am not 100% confident at this moment in time whether I'm gonna need to use a 90 bend in it, or I can push straight from the pan connector into the back of the toilet. So I'm probably gonna cut this twice, or at least cut 2 lengths of pipe, because I have obviously push fit pipe. One end is blank and the other end has the push fit on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut from there to here, which will be the length I'm going to use. And then if I need to, I have a push fit that I can go on the end like that to be the 90 bend that I need for the toilet. But in case I don't, then having 2 blank ends is probably going to be better. In fact, after thinking, having 2 blank ends in this scenario is actually just better. So I don't actually need to cut the push fit end. I need to cut the blank end. Could always come back and cut the other bit later if it works out that way, but having 2 blank ends is what I actually need in this situation, because whether I don't really want to use one of these bendy pipes, I kind of want to have it fixed like I do for the downstairs toilet, and it needed a blank end for it to push into. It's kind of hard to see in there, but yeah, it's a blank end that it pushes straight into rather than like a push fit end. Granted, that is all solvent weld pipe anyway, so it's slightly different. But yeah, let's get this cut out to the right length, get it fit in place, and then I can adapt some of the water pipe work behind it. Despite me having the table, this one I am going to cut on the floor because it's slightly easier to get to because of how long it is, but I'm being judged by family. If there's one thing you should know about my family, is that we were all raised how to use a saw properly. So Yeah, probably being judged quite hard right now. I was cutting on the floor using my boot as a rest. That's my excuse. Anyways, I have lubed up my pipe, which you should always do with any push fit. Typically, as always, made a mistake. I have cut to the length of the middle of where the toilet's going to be. It needs to be obviously a little shorter than the toilet to allow for the bend. I just got judged for using a saw and I've just cut it the wrong length. Measured twice, cut once. I'm literally, it says it on my hoodie. Get your merch today. It should remind you, it doesn't remind me. Take two, that is much better. Now, as I say, I might not actually end up using this elbow here, purely because you can get pan connectors that in effect is an elbow. It goes obviously straight out the back of the toilet and then goes into the pipe. So it would effectively already have a bend in it. So fortunately it's all push fit, so I can just remove it later. But it also tells me that that is exactly in the middle where I want it. Now that I've got that in place, since doing all of this pipe work, we have determined that we are having a hidden cistern. So the cistern's going to sit on the wall up here. So what I need to do is reroute this pipe, which is a little annoying because obviously of all these elbows and stuff. But instead of wasting, like getting all of this out, I can literally just tilt the T that I have there that way, elbow it up, and it's just done. Effectively, like that. Super easy. Change the direction of the T, add an elbow in, it comes up, cistern on the wall there. Same for this one, hot and cold. Obviously the shower wall's gonna be here. Well, I don't actually know exactly right now. So I can either bend this T underneath the waste pipe and bring it up and send this T straight up, or I've got the elbow in there. Again, push fit's so easy. I can move and adjust it quite simply. Originally, I had planned on using copper like everywhere, but to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of glad that I use plastic because it has been so easy and so forgiving, because I have just made so many mistakes, whether that's just due to me rushing around or like not taking my time to think about how I'm going to do things, you know, and so on. You know, you get the general idea. I have made a lot of mistakes, but I don't know, that's how I learn. I was always told I learn things the hard way. And that has become very evident when doing this house. But there we have it. Nice and easy job. Waste for the sink, waste for the toilet, waste for the bath, all completely in place. I just need to tidy up the mess in here. So, gotta love yourself a quick transition. I feel fairly confident in saying now that we can rip up the rest of the floor and start laying the new floor in. However, there is a tree that needs saving, which I said I was going to do off camera, but to be honest, if I do it off camera, it'll make this vlog incredibly short. And whilst the weather is nice, I'm going to go save the tree, because I'm pretty sure it's meant to be torrential rain tomorrow. And it's meant to be raining for like the next week plus. So whilst we've got blue skies and the weather's nice, I'm going to get it done today. So I've got 2 posts that need to go in the ground about 1 foot away from this tree. As I outlined in my last video, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going to put the posts in the ground and get like a rubber strap, strap the tree to the post, and hopefully that supports the weight. Feeling very ambitious about this. This tree is incredibly heavy and it already leans, like I said before. So let's go get the post thumper prodder. Puts post in the ground. It's a big piece of metal. Okay, so post is going to go in the ground probably around here. Let me tell you, any guesses in the comments how long it'll be before this hoodie comes off, because I am going to melt doing this. Bonk. We need to go about 2 foot into the ground. Fortunately, it's been raining, so the soil is quite soft. Right, that is 2 foot into the ground. I am not confident about that holding the tree in the slightest, but we'll see. A nail in the top of that as well. Right, annoyingly, the other one's got to go around here, and the fence is in the way a little bit. I say that. This fence is very dead, so. I could so see myself banging my knee on that. Oh, it's raining. Ah, that is done. Holy moly. You can tell or understand why fences are so hench for doing that every day. Bloody hell. I do not envy the guys who put in our gate. Fence and gate, post and rails. I did that all manually. I've only put 2 posts in the ground, like a couple of foot into the ground, and I'm beat. Now, I don't actually have anything to tie to the tree currently. I could use rope, but from my understanding, the rope will just eat itself into the tree. So I need to get some rubber straps. So I need to nip out for that. But I do obviously need to bury the roots. From my understanding, it doesn't need to be like compacted down or anything. I just need to keep the roots moist, for the lack of a better term. So just completely cover them with soil and allow them to reroot themselves back into the ground. As I say, this is all like a hope. I'm not very ambitious about it actually working, but as I don't have loads of soil to hand, that's fine. What I'm going to do is, because this pile of like soil from my trench has just kind of been sat here for God knows how long, I'm going to get a shovel some of this in and cover it over, and then probably potentially mix it with some compost and just get a bit of compost. I don't really see if that makes much difference, to be perfectly honest, but either way, I just need to get it covered. He says that as the heavens open and it starts to rain. Meant to get quite heavy now for like the next hour, so I might actually nip out and get some stuff first. I need to get gas for this thing anyway. Oh, we've arrived in the beautiful countryside at good old-fashioned TFM. I've got some gas, but for whatever reason, it was filling up at like 0.01 litre per like second. So to get 15 litres, I would have been stood there for 15 minutes. For whatever reason, it was just incredibly slow. Another guy actually came with his canister as well, filled his up, and he was just like in and out. It was literally took him like 30 seconds tops. So I don't really know why that was happening. I don't know if there's something wrong with the gas bottle. Either way, we've got a full gas bottle now. Let's try and find some fence posts. Oh, would you look at that? They're literally right there. I've also not really explained why I'm now picking up fence posts. I was meant to get straps for the tree. Basically, I've spoken to my aunt and my uncle about this, and I have essentially put the posts on the wrong side of the tree. So what I'm going to do now is get 2 more of these. So in total, I'll have obviously 4 posts. I'm going to strap from one side, and I'm going to create like almost like a fence, essentially what my ladder's doing right now, out of fence posts and a strapper, and it's basically going to be able to rest on those fence posts. That's probably what I was meant to do the first time, but I didn't. So I need to get a couple more posts, which are these ones, I think. The ones I was pointing to over there are actually halves. But yeah, I'm going to put 2 of these in the ground, brace between them, and then hopefully the tree will rest on that just like my ladder is, and that should be enough, I hope. I'm now looking at thicker rope because they have run out of tree straps. So either going to use rope or ratchet straps maybe. Oh, I don't want to do it. You can't make me. I'm so actually. It's that point of the day where I've been up since like the crack of dawn, and I just don't want it. My day's over now. You can understand why tradies finish at like 3:30. But I got some posts. I'm going to put them in the ground, and similar to the ladder, at a slight angle. I don't think I can go too crazy with the angle, just because I think I'll struggle to get the post in the ground if I go too mad with it. And I don't actually have like a sledgehammer or anything. So yeah, post some at an angle. Don't know how that's going to go. We'll see. But I'm going to put you on there and time lapse it. That is harder than it looks at an angle, a bit tight as well. But I've now got nail gun. I'm gonna nail gun in this cross bit, which is half. I think this is what I'm meant to do. Not a clue what I'm doing, honestly. But I'm essentially just going to put this in. This would probably be easier with two people, to be honest. But that is essentially going to go like there. Let me get Jess to help me, actually. So essentially going to go there, or your way. That's fine. Thank you. Okay, right, let's just make sure that's not getting anywhere. With plenty of nails. I can't see this working, I'll be honest with you. My confidence levels are very low because I have, as I've said many times, absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making it up. And I'm not exactly being patient with it and let my mind think about what to do. Right, before I actually release the tree, I am now just gonna grab a ratchet strap because I didn't think the rope was going to be good enough, and we'll try ratchet strapping it. This has to be the world's sketchiest DIY thing you'll ever see. To be honest, I should have just ignored all this and just left the ladder there and it would have just been fine, because this is abysmal. One of the things I am most definitely not proud of. But I am now going to remove the ladder, then I'm going to cut the rope and see if it supports it. And if it does, then wonderful. If it doesn't, then the tree is just... Jesus, what am I doing? I'm not entirely sure how to remove this ladder, to be perfectly honest, because it's bearing a lot of the weight. But... oh yeah, see, just... kick it and it comes out. Look at that, ladder removed. It's done. The scary part actually comes from removing the rope, so... yeah. See this little thin blue rope here? That is taking up most of the weight. It's incredibly taut. I'm going to cut it now and see if the tree falls down. Everyone keep your fingers crossed. In 3, 2, 1. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. It works. It's also very satisfying to do. I'd be tempted to say that my ratchet strap thing isn't doing anything. Oh no, it's definitely, yeah. I don't actually, to be fair, I think this might not be doing anything. Because, well, it worked, and it is now being supported by something that I've bodged together. I need to get the rope out the tree now. I'd be tempted to climb it just to see if it can hold my weight, but we won't do that. Let's not put it under any stress. Oh, it starts very dark cloud coming out. You can't see because, there you go. Exposure and all that. Got a new phone coming, so hopefully that is better. But yeah, all done. Feels like such a waste of a ratchet strap. Been meaning to get some new ones for my car, because the ones I've got are just some really crappy ones from B&Q. But yeah, it ain't going nowhere. At least that's the hope. And would you look at that for timing? It's just decided to piss it down. Perfect excuse for me to crack open a beer and relax. Cheers. I have certainly made a right dog's dinner of that, but I've removed the ropes. I've tidied up the ratchet so it's not just dangling around, and cut the edge of the posts off. Hopefully this will last a good couple of years for it to set its roots back in. As I said, I need to just bury that, which I'll do off camera. You don't need to watch me wheel some dirt back and forth. But there we have it. The apple tree is upright. and back in the ground. Tune back in 2 years' time to see if it's still alive. Roots buried, job complete. The only thing I really need to do now is finish collecting all the apples that are on the floor and tidying up some of the branches that have laid around. But as it has been on and off with torrential weather, and tomorrow it's actually meant to be raining all day, I think we'll call it quits there. I really appreciate you watching. I know this vlog was a bit I want to say lackluster is probably the right word to use. I don't feel like I've done much today, but I'm kind of just taking it easy, to be honest. It's the weekend, it's my birthday tomorrow, and I don't want to wake up in the morning aching and not physically able to do anything. So yeah. However, that being said, tomorrow's vlog will be me laying the floor in the house. Hopefully that is a smooth process. I'm really hoping so. I'm glad I got the waste done in the bathroom now. So yeah, we'll get the floor down tomorrow and then probably poke our heads up into the loft and see what the situation is with the wasps. Really hoping they're just gone and it's just not another problem to deal with. Fortunately, the guy who came and killed the wasps he's actually really nice. I imagine if I call him up and the wasps are still up there, he'll probably just pop back out and sort the problem for me. So yeah, oh, what a day. I'm sorry if you didn't really want to watch the tree stuff. I've not posted that vlog yet, so I have no idea if people are interested in watching it or not, but either or, this is a day in the life, and that's how the day has gone. Half in the house, half out of the house. Productive, successful day. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Give another big shout out again to the guys over on Patreon, who actually get to see some of the sneaky behind the scenes of the merch that's coming, as well as get vlogs early. I have, as of yesterday, finished working on the next drop, and that should be coming soon. I am just waiting for some samples just to green light it before I properly launch it, but keep your eyes peeled for I'd say a week or so, where we'll actually have some new merch, which I'm really excited for. I actually think the new design is actually really cool. I'm going to be dropping these as hoodies, because a lot of people said that they wanted the hoodies, and I only dropped it as t-shirts before. So the gardening and handcrafted t-shirts will become hoodies, as well as a financially screwed t-shirt that's just a random drop that I'll throw in there as well. So quite a lot of merch coming your way. He's saying bye bye. But yeah, I'm gonna go chill out and spend the rest of the day with the family. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, much love. Bye bye. I am all prepared to put these down on the floor, as well as the stud work that I'm going to be using for the hot water that was here across to this side now. So the waterway. Plenty of nails. Roots buried, job complete.